Free. Well, we're back. I don't think anyone expected this one, but we are back. We are previewing not only just talking about baseball in general with Ryne Guida here, a Florida Panthers designated hitter, Ironman for this team. He's played, I believe, every single game this year at the designated position spot. But we're going to talk some Miami Hurricanes versus FIU, the trilogy matchup here that's going to go on tomorrow at Coral Gables. We are here joined by Jake Gibson, Jonathan Mayer, the co-host of the show. Ryan, thank you so much for hopping on last minute. We're very excited to have you on and just talk some baseball.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Kevin, Johnny, this is weird. It feels why am I getting deja vu? Like we were just here like 20 minutes ago. This is strange, but I'm down.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny. I'm wanted to try to blend into the Rajah Bell episode, talking a bit about baseball, but it didn't really come to fruition. That's just how that episode went. By the way, shout out to anybody watching who just watched that episode on the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Johnny, I'll let you kick it away. Get us going.
Yeah, we're going to talk. First of all, let's talk about playing baseball in Broward County. People don't know you were one of the best Broward County players during your time in high school. So talk about that opportunity of playing baseball in South Florida and kind of going through the process of college and here at FIU.
So honestly, like for me, I've really had the blessing to be around a bunch of really good mentors. Started in 8th grade with Bruce Charleboy over at Highlands Christian, got a year in there, just got some experience. And then luckily for me, I was homeschooled. So for 9th, 10th, 11th, and then into 12th, I was able to play at different high schools. Like 9th and 10th grade, I was at Coral Springs Christian with Steve Carp. He played in the pros with the Mets for a bit, pitcher. Really, he was another mentor of mine. And just honestly, I was able to get my feet wet against really good competition at a young age. So as I got older, that adjustment period got a little easier and a little easier. And then by sophomore, junior year, I really got like my feet under me and was able to dominate and do what I needed to do.
So I want to ask you, unless you have something to follow up, Johnny.
Oh, no. You can go on, Kevin.
So I kind of want to go now. We're going to take a big fast forward here just to your time at FIU. This is your first season with the Panthers. What went into your decision to join join FIU? What was the recruitment process like for the incoming athletes? I mean, I know what a recruitment process is like. Just how was it for you? And then eventually, what enticed you to come back to Florida and play with FIU?
For sure. So I was in junior college last year at Indian River State College in Fort Pierce. Derek reached out to me in March, like late February, early March, about coming to FIU. I came and took a visit. I looked at some other Division I's, but honestly, for me, it was about just staying at home. And then when summer ball kind of came around, I saw Merv was fired, and then I was still committed to the Panthers, playing summer ball in the Valley. And then Rich called me, and I'm like, and as soon as I met him, his energy and enthusiasm really got me into the program. I'm like, you know what? This is where I want to stay and play, for sure.
And something interesting that I saw this season. God, it feels like I'm stealing questions from the Rajah Bell episode we just had. But prior to Indian River State, you spent 2021 over at Stetson, and of course,
yes,
you've played the Hatters a couple times this season. Just talk about the emotions you felt matching up against your former team, not once but twice. Once here and then the other time in Dayland, Florida.
I mean, honestly, for me, it's just I look at them like another game. I stay in touch with all those guys. I was very thankful for the opportunity I got from them my first year, but when it really came down to it, I just want to get an opportunity to play every day, which I did at Indian River State, and then it's been awesome to come here and play them. It was nice to beat them once, but in the end, it really comes down to I'm really cool with those guys. There's really no hard feelings there at all.
Ron, you've played in almost every division, any conference you could think of, Conference USA. There's a lot. Just what is it like?
JCAA and then a Conference USA. I feel like I've been around the block a little bit, but it's definitely helped me for sure. Just kind of see different competition and all that.
Yeah. So just what's the the adjustments you have to make when you go from one conference to another? Obviously, there's different competition, different guys. You have to learn new pitchers. Just everything is new for you there, and just different teams.
I mean, honestly, for me, it's been really like, I guess, like the scouting reports. Like when you go over scouting reports over the week, like when I was younger as a freshman, I was more of like filling in at first through DHing at Stetson, then pinch hitting. So I'd look at more of the relievers. But now as a starter, I really have to understand the whole staff. When they're going over the video, I got to make sure, okay, this is what this guy has. He goes to this pitch and this count. So just trying to stay ahead of it, stay on top of who we're playing. I'd say the offense in Conference USA is a lot better, and the pitching's pretty good. I mean, I would say it's a pretty good conference. UTSA is top 25 opponent every year. DBU is phenomenal when we played them.
Mm-hmm.
Just the competition throughout the conference is very balanced. FAU's got a pretty damn good squad over there with Nolan Shandy, all those guys. So it's been fun. It's been a good conference.
Let's talk about you this year. You've been balling, the most consistent hitter on this team. We're hitting 362, and it's felt like once you came in, it's been on the get, and you're just playing at a high level. Talk about your game this year, and just it's really difficult to hit 360 in nearly a 50 game stretch. You're doing that. So just overall, talk about how your level of play has been this year.
Honestly, for me, it's been just kind of sticking to the process. Like I remember I even had a couple games where it's like an O for here or there, but it's just sticking to it, understanding that I have to stay aggressive on pitches early in the count. Can't take strikes over the plate and then chase. Like just knowing that I will be pitch tough and that to just make adjustments and understand what the pitchers are trying to do to me. That's really the thing.
I was going to say, I feel like when I watch you play, you're not a strikeout guy. I think you have like four, like how many? I don't know. Do you know how many you have, or just does you don't care about that stuff?
I know, like
That's 34. 34. I have it right here.
Wow,
34.
spoilers, Kevin. Damn.
Okay, so
Sorry.
with that, I feel like you're not a guy that's going to swing. You're a guy that if you take a strikeout, either it's pitches that are on the zone that you kind of. I know you got pissed off last week. There was a Saturday. You're not a strikeout guy.
Usually for me, like I kind of pride myself in having pretty good bat to ball ability, like knowing like what pitches I got to hit in the zone and not chasing. But here or there, I'll chase a pitch, or maybe I get a bad call, a couple balls off the plate. But like I really try to just be aggressive on pitches that are strikes early. That I try not to get 2 strike counts.
When we look at where you are, in the batting order, you're definitely going to have the opportunity to drive in a lot of guys. Alex Sanchez, Dante Girardi, guys who are at the top of the lineup. And, thanks to that, you've gotten 42 RBIs. You reached the 40 RBI marker for the first time in your collegiate career. How much did that mean to you? And, just what was different for you this time around this season that you weren't able maybe to accomplish last season in terms of just being that guy who's going to drive in guys and be that, I guess, RBI machine?
Well, knowing it's a couple of things. It's kind of knowing like, okay, when there's runners in scoring position, like my job is to get guys in. Like I have to make sure if I get something in the zone with runners on second and third, I need to at least get a run in. I mean, they've been doing a good job of getting on. But really it just comes down to, maybe if there's an at bat where I line out, even if I get a single early, it's like, okay, but there's still gonna be that big at bat late in the game where I need to come through. And that's where I'm trying to keep myself dialed in. Like, okay, in the late innings, I gotta be really good. Like that's what I have to be better than I was in the first or the third.
So shout out to Coach Rich Witten for numerous things, but something that stood out to me already is that baseball already has 18 wins. That's already 2 more than last year's squad, and there's still quite a few games left to play after tomorrow's game against Miami, which we'll talk about in a bit. So I just want to know what at one point in this season did you feel that Coach Rich Witten, like he was him as far as head coaches go, that he was that guy?
I mean, I will just say straight up, even like when we got in the fall, like he set a certain standard of how we do things as far as how we go about the weight room, how we go about, even offensive drills, defense, inter squads. Like his energy is like contagious. And what I say is like he expects a certain level, and it's very easy to reciprocate it when it's expected since the first day of camp. Like that's been really the biggest thing. Like he's not going to take a rep off. He's really hard on us about different things, but I think it's in the best way possible. Like it's definitely helped us and being on board and being bought in.
You're sort of the Iron Man on the team, as Kevin and Johnny have said earlier. So what's going on every single game. And man, FIU's offense is something else this season. It's absolutely insane. But what would you say was the finest performance, the piece de resistance of FIU baseball this season?
Honestly, I would say that like our motto, early in the year was, there was never a game we were out of. Like even though Marist and Harvard are opponents we should beat, we still came back. Like they were
Nine
playing
nothing
those
down.
games. Yeah, we were down 9-0 one of those
Yeah.
games. I forget if it was a Saturday or Sunday game, but just our ability just to not quit. Because I know like last year I heard it was a little bit rougher, but still like just this group's working hard. It's nice to see that, we beat last year's win mark, which I mean that was expected. We weren't going to not meet that, but I'm happy we did. But just being able to battle throughout the year.
And something that I've seen a lot of and on social media for FIU baseball is the rally cactus. I want to know, Ryan, from someone in the dugout, what's the origin of the rally cactus?
I need to know.
The rally cactus, man. So I remember Cam Knox actually grabbed it and showed me. He's like, "Hey, here's our rally cactus. We're just going to give it out to a guy at the end of the game. So what we'll do is like either they'll put it in the guy's locker at the best game, or whoever got it the previous day, I'll be like, okay, here's the cactus. But now it's more like a good luck charm. Like we keep it in the dugout, and it's something they put on Twitter all the time. And you'll see Mario holding it. It's funny. It's cool though. I like it.
Wait, so where did the cactus come from?
Like I don't know. Cam had it one day in his hand. I don't know where he got it from. He put it in my locker. He's like, "Hey, you deserve it." It was after the Bethune game. We beat Bethune at home.
Right.
Like, no, here's a rally cactus, and I'm like, "All right, I guess we can roll this." So then I gave it out to I forget who had the best game that next day, but I gave it out to that guy. And we kind of were doing that, and now they just keep in the dugout. It's like a good luck charm.
My favorite though is I think it started like I was told by a rain delay is the umbrella home run celebration.
That's
Oh,
a good
fire.
one.
That is
That's a
peak.
fun one.
Yeah, talk about that one a little bit, and just to get the umbrella, water comes at you, and just it's a good time in the dugout.
So yeah, like on opening day, like I remember the NCAA they banned like on-field prop celebrations, but we still wanted to have one. So we came up with this idea with the umbrella. I think it was Mario or one of them. One of the pitchers came up with this idea to have this like umbrella every time we had a home run. So I guess we tried it a couple of times in inter squads. I forget what we did if we even tried it, but I remember when Alec hit his first home run, he ran through the dugout with the umbrella. We were all swearing in the water. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty sick. We got to keep it. So that's how that came to be.
Yeah. From what I've seen this year, and I think, Johnny and Jay could agree that this is a very close team. You guys are all, there's no one sitting at the back of the dugout. All of you guys are at the top step. Doesn't matter what the score is. Just how important has that been, not only for you, but just the team as a whole, how close you guys have been. And it just seems like this is one of the closer teams we've seen just in terms of, the relationships you guys have built throughout this whole year.
I would say straight up, like, as you guys know, conference has been difficult. We've had games we've been up. Certain parts have gone wrong, but it's just kind of staying together through it. It's we've had games we feel like we could have won. There's games we could get back, but in the end, you gotta just let those go and move on. And we just try to keep our best attitude at it, and stay calm, and try to stay in the middle. Even when things are going well, we're happy. When things aren't going well, we still try to stay up.
Let's talk about your stretch right now. 12-game hitting streak. I know Coach alluded to Kevin on Friday about he wanted you to kind of push the ball a little bit more, I guess, opposite way. And that's been a success. You had 3 home runs in the stretch, have all gone opposite way. You nearly had one on Friday. But what about your ability to kind of, pull the ball going the opposite way, but also really spraying it all around the field?
So, like, it's just a matter of, like, knowing, like, how they're pitching me, too. Like, it's, I can honestly get as much power as I can. It's like, if they throw a ball away, go with it. If it's inside, pull it. Just not getting out my front side too much. Just a little adjustment made with wind and with draw, and that's helped me a lot.
I know they were shifting you a lot, and then that adjustment came, and now you're, there's less shifts. I remember, like, they started seeing you, they pushed a lot left, and now you going right side. It's like,
yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember even when we played FAU, like that series, they had a shift on me. I'm like, wait, they're playing a shift on me now? They never played a shift. So I'm like, all right, I got to work on something. So I'm like, all right, let me start backing the ball up, and then it's all right, and it's worked.
Yeah, that's good.
But I definitely have to get those pitches to do it on. That does help too, because they throw you in, you can't push that out.
No,
going out. But yeah.
Anything you want to add, Jake? Or
no, I'm just excited to talk a bit about the main event tomorrow, and again, we're all going to be there.
The
Kevin, Johnny, myself. I have a good feeling Ryan's going to be there too. It should be a super fun.
He may go. You never know.
There's a good chance. It should just be super fun, and I'm down to just hear your thoughts on what has become, I think, probably the best rivalry FIU has at the moment.
I mean, yeah. I mean, as you guys know, the last game we had against them, we're not happy about how that game went.
Oh my!
We felt like we had that one. I mean, it is what it is. Baseball's baseball. Miami did string together a good inning, and they had a walk-off homer. So they didn't beat us on a walk-off walk. Right?
I'll say umps. I'll say the umps.
I mean, the umps,
That
yeah.
was pretty bad. Yeah.
There were definitely some pitches that we threw in that inning where I was like, "Are we sure that's a ball?" But I'm like, I'm not gonna. There's really because I really can't tell. Like the heights look good, but I thought we definitely deserved that. But
Yeah.
it's a game that I could tell you the clubhouse wants to win. We want to beat Miami, but it's more of how much momentum can we pick off of Miami to then get into a really important conference series against Charlotte, where I think we need to at least take 2 or 3 of 3, which we can do it. But a Miami win I think would be great as far as getting the confidence and composure going towards Charlotte. But in the end, I mean, that's a game that if it goes our way, great. If it doesn't, let's keep it as close as we can and honestly have a dogfight because it's going to be a dogfight no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt about it.
It's just trying to put it in perspective of we need those conference games in the back end. But then again, it is an in-state rival. We're going to bring our A game tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the schedule, the Charlotte on home, and then you got Rice. And I'm thinking if you're able to take a series against Charlotte, it sets up a situation against Rice where it's kind of mano a mano because you guys are right there, with Rice in that 8th spot. So I'm really thinking if you win tomorrow, that sets up confidence. Really,
Exactly.
at home, you can get 2 out of 3 and go on the road against Rice. Try to push this thing to the conference the week after.
The ideal situation is, of course, you want to beat Miami. It's an in-state rival.
Mm-hmm.
And that would really set us up well, especially for Charlotte. Because I know even Witten's been telling us every day, hey, guys, we're still in the hunt, man. Like, we're not out. Like, literally, if we can win the Charlotte series, we can at least take 2 of 3 from Rice. I mean, we'll have head-to-head over Charlotte and Rice, and that should get us in maybe the 7th or the 8th slot, which would be great.
Yeah. Something
Do you
I'm
guys see
noticing.
yourselves? Do you see yourselves if you guys get in a tournament? Are you guys that that pesky 8th seed that we've seen with the Panthers, the Heat? Do you guys see yourself as that type of a team that the offense, man? You guys are putting up some real good numbers. The pitching. I mean, when Angel Tiburcio's on it, he's on it. Kabarkis, same thing. And, just the whole pitching stuff as a whole. If you guys get into that lower seed, do you guys see yourselves kind of being that pesky team that's not going to go out without a big fight?
I mean, I'll tell you this. If we can get in the conference tournament, I think we could be a sleeper and make a run because our offense is scary. And a lot of teams, I'm not going to say they're going to take us lightly, but we have nothing to lose being there.
Mm-hmm.
All we have to do is just take it one game at a time, one out at a time, one pitch at a time. And that's where – I mean, even if we matched up like a DBU, we played DBU very well. We're confident against them. Like, we'd probably either see them and who's the other top one? UTSA?
All right, UTSA. Yeah.
I think those are the top 2. So UTSA, we played pretty well at home, and I think we played DBU even better. So I think we match up against anybody in the conference well.
I think both those series you guys could have 2 out of 3 too.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we can definitely get in the tournament. It's just a matter of continuing to just take it a game at a time. Mm-hmm. Not look at everybody, because obviously you want a scoreboard watch. Anytime you win a game, what did everybody else do? It's just kind of worrying about us and allowing us to control, because we still control our own destiny, which is good.
And I'll say this nugget: the last time FIU was in the tournament was back in 2018, so 5 years ago. So that's a huge accomplishment. If you're able to push this through and get wins, that's huge for this program.
You want to know what else happened in 2018? FIU beat the Canes for the last time. That's why tomorrow's game is so ginormous, because
for sure
the last 2 times it was made very clear that this team can play up to the competition of the University of Miami. That's been made obvious. All right.
I mean, we know we can play with them. I mean, even when we played them at home, we played them tough for 7 innings, and then even when we played them there, I mean, we took them to the last out. So
right.
A win. I can tell you this. I mean, I'd like to think, we can take at least 1 or 2 from you. It should be great to take 2. I think we can split the series with them. But it starts tomorrow. It starts our energy. It starts the way we go about our business. It starts about getting ahead in the counts and just, limiting mistakes, knocking runners in scoring position, just doing what we do, getting back to what we're good at, attacking the zone and knocking in runs.
So something I have noticed is that the Canes at this very moment are ranked number 11th in the nation. It's the highest ranked seed that you guys have played so far. So I'm just wondering, does the fact that they're almost top 10 add any more weight to this matchup, or is it more like another day in the office for you guys?
I mean, in the end, the rankings are great, but when it really comes down to it, like the games are won and lost in the field. I mean, you guys see these upsets that happen all the time, like a no-name school. I mean, we're not a no-name school. We've beaten FGCU, we've beaten UTSA, we got Mizzou. So like we're battle tested against top 25 opponents. It's essentially not letting the situation be bigger than what it is. We've played Miami, we played them there, we've had success there. Now it's time to finish it. Get ourselves a win over there, so we have the confidence going into a tough opponent in Charlotte, and then go into Rice where we know we're better than them. It's just a matter of going about it and not making anything too much bigger than what it is.
The big thing is you got two games left against the Hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So come back to us
this is not the last we'll see these guys.
No, exactly. And I mean, I'll tell you this: they know that we're not going to come over and roll over them from either, so they're going to bring it. They're not going to take it lightly at all.
And that's why this rivalry is so like you this season, and maybe Johnny and Jake could attest to this more, but it's kind of feels like rejuvenated, like it revived. The rivalry is back. You guys, and unfortunately it didn't go your way, as you mentioned, and we've all mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, baseball happened. Did I think we won that game? Yeah, I think we threw strikes they didn't call, but in the end, there's nothing we could do to change it. It's just a matter of going there tomorrow with a good attitude. Okay, we've played these guys, we played them tough. Now let's take it from them. Like, let's not make it a run game. Go out there and take care of them.
And as Johnny said, it shows that you guys can compete with this team.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe with their pitching matchups, it kind of feels like they're taking this pretty lightly, which it kind of feels that way. Maybe Johnny could attest to this a little more with, they played FAU maybe a couple weeks ago. They won a bullpen game and somehow still won. So even if they're putting their lightest guys in, they're on, I believe, Johnny, they're on Omaha watch, right? They could possibly go to Omaha.
Oh yeah,
Hurricanes. I mean, they've underachieved a lot. They've made the regionals and they just can't get through. So
I'll tell you this too: like their midweek staff is no joke. Like one of the guys, Chestnut, I faced in junior college, who's pitcher of the year. I mean, they're not. Nobody at Miami is a slouch. I mean, it's just a matter of taking advantage of the matches. I mean, they brought in Andrew Walters, I think was voted a top 5 pitcher in college.
Dante,
like they're not. Make no mistake, Gino doesn't want to lose in his backyard. So it's really a matter of taking advantage, not limiting the mistakes, not squandering opportunities to score runs. Because, I mean, they're not, like I said, they're not going to take it lightly, and they don't want to lose to us either. So
how nice is it to have guys like Mike Rosario and Henry Wallen who went to the school? Do they kind of help you guys a little with these pitching matchups? Guys who they're pretty familiar with.
I mean, yeah, like if there was a guy they faced in inter squads, a lot has changed. I know for them, they, it's another game to them too. Like, I mean, in the end, like even if you go to somewhere for a year, I mean, you're still pretty much tight with the guys there. It's just a matter of just playing baseball. If you make it more than that, then you can essentially overpsych yourself out, and then you can end up doing what you don't need to do. So that's
we talk about the offense. I just want to get to about the experienced guys, Mike Rosario and Alex Sanchez. Those guys have had incredible seasons thus far. So what is it like to play with those two and even some other veterans as well, and what they have brought to you, and really that has carried this whole offense this whole season?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say Mike's been battle tested. I mean, he played a bunch of good innings over at Miami. He's really came over here and kind of been an igniter for us. Sanchez has been here for a few years and has gotten it done. He brings a big bat to the lineup. It's just a matter of like those two guys are guys that have, they've played, they understand it, they're veterans, they know what they need to do. They don't try to do too much. I mean, it's been very nice to play with them. I mean, they get on base a lot. They hit the ball very hard. They find ways to get on. They hit doubles. I mean, they definitely pull their weight. I mean, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch to have there, especially two lefties that can run in the outfield that pop. Like those are definitely guys that make it easier for the middle of the lineup to get it done because there's people in scoring position. They're worried about them. They're worried about being quick to the plate because they're quick. So it definitely sets it up. I mean, it's a good balance of speed and power with those two.
Mm-hmm. So to provide for those who want a very quick synopsis on the University of Miami, they have a 31-16 record, 14-10 in the conference, 25-4 at home, 6-12 on the road. They are currently on a 4-game winning streak, and that includes a 3-game sweep against Presbyterian. So yeah,
I want to have some fun here a little bit. I mean, first I want to ask you, Ryne, what's the pregame routine like for you guys? Obviously, Johnny and I are there a good amount. We see the batting practice. We kind of see it everything leading up. But what is it that we may not see?
So for a home game, like a usual home game,
you could do both, home game and away game.
Okay, so for home games, it's actually I personally enjoy it better because the way we do early work is Whatever time's the game at, it's 5 hours before, or it's 4 hours before. So if it's a 6 o'clock early works, like maybe at 1 or 2. So I usually get there 30 minutes before early work to stretch out, do my hitting routine. We'll have our dugout meeting usually at 2 for a 6 o'clock game. And then we'll go through our like stretching routine, we'll go through our infield IO stuff. It's like more of like an abridged IO where like guys will throw from the outfield, go through their routines. We'll go through our infield routine. Then usually when you guys have got there, it's like BP around like 3-ish. We'll hit from like 3 to 3:45. We'll do like a scouting report on the pitcher a little bit after that, have like our pregame meal. Then we get into like our uniforms and stuff, and then start preparing for the game. Like if it's like just doing sprints, I'll usually stretch out again. I'll swing the bat a little bit. Whatever guys got to do to get ready, throw again. Then we'll do our base running when we play. But it's usually it's usually 2 to 3 hours of pregame stuff before we get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about for an away game?
Away games, so it depends. Like Miami tomorrow, I know we'll get there probably around 3:30. We'll go through our stretch, our IO, and our hitting, but it's usually a little bit shorter only because since we're the away team, we have to kind of get going quicker. Like we get there a little later. But like the away trip's a little bit shorter as far as the pregame. The pregame at home's a little bit longer. You have the time to go through stuff, whatever they want to go through that day. Like if we're facing a pitcher that has a lefty slider, like they'll sub lefty sliders in the machine for early work. Like they customize it well to what we're doing.
All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a rapid fire thing. I know you had something to say, Johnny.
I was gonna say I wanted to ask you, besides like the heading stuff and the routines, just talk about how cool it is to be able to, a perk of it is traveling, going on the road to conference teams. What is that like for you to, hang out all your buddies and stuff, and just travel?
Yeah, it's peace. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually fun because like when you really think about it, you're traveling like a pro. Because in the minor leagues, it's all bus trips, whereas like in college, I mean, we take the bus to the airport, we'll fly to wherever we're going. I mean, it's cool. You definitely get to know guys better because even though like you're with them on the field, like you really like your roommate's usually the best, and then you have like your group. Like I'm usually pretty cool with the infielders because I'm with them a lot. But it's cool. I get to talk to the pitchers. I get to talk to some guys that maybe don't get to talk to as much. Hear some of the stuff that's going on with them, how life's going. It's just good to catch up. Overall, it's fun. The worst days are when the bus will break down or anything. But
I saw what happened on last Sunday, right?
Yeah, that was pretty. It was almost like, oh no, here we go again. Buses were on the side 95. Like, oh man. But that's the stuff you remember.
Yeah.
What was that like? What happened there?
I don't even know. I guess our transmission on our bus went or something. I don't know.
How long did it take for you guys to get another bus?
Too long, like an hour and a half.
Whoa.
Wow.
We're sitting there. We're all sitting there like, well, this really happened to us.
A 95.
I mean, we laugh it off. It's just something like, oh yeah, remember that time we got stuck at FE? But it's memories.
I would say one of the biggest stories in baseball in general is in the major leagues. You have the brand new edition of the pitch clock as well as the no shift rule. I'd like to know your thoughts on what you've seen from those, and do you support these new rules, or are you kind of happy with the rule set of the past?
The pitch clock's an interesting one because, like, I know why they do it and I like it, but there's certain times where I feel like pitchers will be out there a long time and they don't get ready to throw and we can't call time. And I feel like as a hitter, it'll sometimes freeze you up. So, like, if they was able to, like, incorporate, like, a hitter can get one time call per at bat, it'd be better. Because I remember we played Stetson, I called time and it was considered an offensive timeout. And I went to Witt. I'm like, Witt, is this a rule? And we didn't even know it was a rule because, like, they barely enforce pitch clock. I mean, they do, but like we never had a violation happen to us. So just learning the new rules. The no shift rule, creates more hits, obviously. But
okay.
Oh yeah,
it's a strategic part out of the game. But then again, I mean, they can still pitch you a certain way and position you on a certain side of the field, get you out at the pro level. I mean, they're definitely. I mean, I'm more of a baseball like purist as far as I want a human umpire. You don't want robots. The pitch clock's unnecessary. But I can see with. I think the average college game this year was a little under 2.5 hours, where before I think it was 3.5. So I'm happy at least it's cutting down the time of the games, and it does feel like the pace is better with the pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
I will say with the robo-umps, I got to see that last season towards the end of the year for Low A Jupiter.
Okay.
It's amazing. There's no other way to put it. Now,
it's not
an actual robot umpire. There's an umpire behind you. Play normal. You could challenge the call. You could challenge balls or strikes. Either the pitcher, the hitter, or the catcher could challenge. You have 3 challenges each, and then they put like on the jumbotron, they put like a video of the baseball, and that's when they confirm the call.
The K zone.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's perfect. It's
We
perfect.
could use that in our conference with the amount of three balls they throw off the plate they call on us. I could love to use that. Hey,
That
time.
would be great.
I could definitely see a lot of the other guys be like, yeah, no, we would have loved to have that. But then again, it's a perk of being a pro. I mean, in the end, like the umpire doesn't dictate much, but in that situation, I could see where it could be useful.
Yeah.
So looking across the MLB landscape, what teams are really impressing you at the moment, and what teams are you a little disappointed with?
I mean, as a natural Marlin fan, it's another year of mediocrity.
Kevin, prepare yourself.
It's just another year of mediocrity. I mean, I can't give them too hard of a time because like they do have a good club. I mean, the Yankees are the Yankees. They're going to always be good. My sleeper in the West is the Angels, even though they're always very average. I mean, it's kind of seeming as expected.
Yeah.
Like it's still really early to tell. I mean, I hope the Marlins make a wild card just because it seems like people are a little bit more interested in the games again than they were in previous years. Like they're getting 10,000 instead of the occasional.
Yeah, those
yeah.
The crowds in that Cubs series not that long ago were insane.
Those
Especially
are good. Yeah.
If they get 10,000 people there, it's a party.
Yeah, and when you compare that to, of course, the crazy attendance we saw in the World Baseball Classic not that long ago, it's made clear as day that this city cares about baseball, right? They need a solid franchise to follow. And,
the worst part about it with Marlins fans especially that I've seen, I hate to say it, Miami's a fair weather bandwagon market. Now, did I like the Panthers when they were terrible? Yes, the Florida Panthers, the Marlins. Like, I hate to say it, like, people will start following the Marlins when they're in a wild card. Okay, now I'll check it out. Like, it's so hard of a market. And they put the stadium in an area where, like, there has to be a draw to go.
Yeah.
They could interact with the Latin American Hispanic community a lot better than they do.
Yeah.
As far as getting them to go to the games where, like,
dogs.
Kind of a one sword with it, like how they've handled it.
Or
I will
dogs,
say
considering how many parks there are.
They're winning 4-0 right now. They're beating they're beating the D-backs.
Yeah, they lost the D-backs last time. Like, how'd they lose? Zach Gallen out there. I'm like,
talk about that, huh?
Yeah. Should they bring the teal unis back full time? That's
100%. Those are the unis they wore when I was a kid when they had Dan Ugla and Hanley Ramirez and
Mike Stanton, not Giancarlo.
Mike Stanton. Mike before he went Hispanic.
Wow.
But yeah, for sure.
I want to ask you, Ryan, who are some of the guys that you kind of looked up to when playing, like major leaguers, you kind of looked up to when you were a kid?
I would say, like, definitely Miguel Cabrera and Trout, because those are two of the best hitters in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not even close. Like, there's certain like, I go up to Cressy and hit a lot. And they got really good hitting stretch, like Max Rios, Tyler Wolf, guys that are, working out with major league guys, and they're able to do the breakdowns. It's cool to see, like, different things that Trout does, like his shoulders that I try to work on and look at. So those are the kind of cool parts, is breaking down the film and kind of seeing the reality, like the similarities of certain things and where you can get better and all that. So that's been kind of like when I look up to guys, it's kind of trying to see what swings look like mine and seeing what they do really well and seeing, okay, what can I do to even get better at this?
Is there anyone you model your game after right now, or?
Right now, I would say no, just because, like, I kind of consider myself as, like, unique. It's like what I do. Yeah. Like, as far as, like, modeling your game behind me, that's more like, I guess I say that's more of, like, the scouts to kind of figure out when they get player comps out. I kind of just try to go out there and do the best I can for the team. For sure. But yeah, like.
So something we're going to do here, we're all going to go. So it'll be me, Johnny, Jake, and maybe we could do snake it. We could snake it, but we're going to do rapid fire questions here. So,
okay.
Ryan, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to start off. Who's the funniest teammate right now you guys have?
Funniest teammate, I would say Owen Puck. He's pretty funny.
For sure. Brother of AJ Puck. Yeah.
Yes, very, very funny.
All right, Johnny.
Oof, you can skip me.
Johnny,
you're forfeiting the pick.
Go ahead, Jake. This is a two-parter. The first question is: Have you been to? Obviously, this is your first year here, but have you been to any of the previous basketball, soccer, or football matches here on campus? And if that's the case, what was your favorite event to go to outside of baseball here at FIU?
I would definitely say I went to the basketball for the student athlete banquet thing, but the most memorable to me was soccer. When soccer made it to the final, we were all in our trucks in the back.
Oh,
We were
just-
Oh,
smoking,
yeah, I
smoking
remember
the
that.
whole way, just having a good old time, and like to see Kyle and all of them win that was awesome because I know how hard they worked and like they literally dominated. They dominated the tournament. They dominated when they played at our field. Like it was really that was probably my most memorable moment.
Hmm.
We beat
I
them.
remember that. You guys were there. You guys, what was it that you guys were throwing? It was like some
It
powder,
was like
right?
the
Or some
smoke. Yeah.
We were throwing smoke. We were doing a bunch of crazy stuff back
Yeah.
there. But like, you know, soccer supports us, so we support them. That was really cool to see them make a run, especially in our trucks at every game, just screaming and yelling, having a good time. That was definitely memorable for sure.
I gotta go to food spot on campus.
I was gonna ask that, Johnny. Damn.
Food spot.
Yeah, food spot. Yeah.
I've never been there.
Oh no, go to.
No, like,
what's your favorite? What's your favorite food spot?
Oh, my favorite food
Yeah.
spot on campus.
Mhm.
I really don't even know on campus much. Let me see. If I was going to go to a food spot, I would say Trop smoothie for sure.
Yeah.
First Trop, like you can get a
Very
good smoothie. Like the smoothies are consistent. There's some good wraps, but like more importantly, like you're at the rec center. It's not a far walk from the field. It's convenient.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's definitely my go-to spot for sure.
All right. So we got the Trop from Ryan, and when we had Grayson, what was his? It was Miro's, right?
Yeah, the food truck.
Miro's for Grayson. Dope.
All right, so I want to ask you, who are you giving the aux to when you guys need some music to play? Who's the guy you're giving it to, and who are you not giving it to?
The aux. Oh man, I gotta think about this one for a second. So I mean, usually the aux is on. Like it'll be like Orlando will have the aux on a good amount. Puck will have it on a good amount. Sanch will turn on some songs. He usually has the aux going. Who I would not give the aux to. Honestly, there's really nobody because like everybody usually listens to some pretty good music. Like I wouldn't say there's any specific guy that like just goes on there and turns on like you're like just turn this off. Like it's a pretty good music taste around the locker room, which is a good thing.
What's your type of music? What music do you like?
I mean, obviously rap, country. I like some EDM. I've gone into some more EDM mixes because like those are kind of sick too. Just it's like a wide variety.
So pretty much anything goes.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. I'm not. I don't discriminate too hard on music. It's just a matter of a good beat. It's got something to pump you up a little
It
bit.
just has to be good.
Like
So-
old school rap, I'm really into. I really like some good old school rap.
Oh, yours is Macklemore, right? Macklemore, right?
Yeah, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis can't hold us. I've had that since summer ball. That's when I
Okay, so-
started doing it.
So that's just one like is it more like a superstition kind of thing?
I mean, so last summer in the Valley when I went there, I hit like 398 with that song. Like I had like I would just it's kind of like a routine where it's like, all right, that's my walk up song. That's just what I roll on. Pretty much.
Will that continue being your walk-up song moving forward?
Well, yeah, I would say for sure. I mean, if I ever have an 0 for 50 stretch, I might have to change it. For sure. But, I mean, I'd
Well,
probably
that's
stick
not
with
gonna
that for now. Even this summer, too, I'll stick to it.
By the way, I am a massive uniform / jersey nerd, and FIU's got some really clean ones. But what is your favorite FIU look?
So I have two. I like the cream jerseys we have are really sick. We used to do the
Those are
the
dope.
short pants with those. Those look good.
Mhm.
And then our blue jerseys with our names on the back with the white is a really good look as well. Those are my two favorite.
How about like the blue ones, like the North Carolina blue?
The
Like
baby blue.
It's just a
baby blue,
powder
yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
The baby blue. The problem with the baby blues is like they fit like pajamas. They fit really well, but like I don't think they look the best in the field.
I see, yeah.
They're
I
kind
do
of,
like the logo though. It looks kind of cool though. Like the
it's a
little
cool logo. Now, if we can get like an updated version of the baby blues, I'd be like, yeah, I'm all in on the baby blues.
Would you be all down if baseball copied the trend of women's basketball, who has this a Vice?
The Miami Vice
Vice
jerseys would
green
be sick.
here.
I remember during football they had a Miami Vice there where they give out those shirts.
Yes,
And if they did that for a baseball, like where we had our like Miami Vice jersey nights, that'd be sick.
that'd be so.
I think the guys would be down with that too, for sure.
Scott may be listening. Yeah,
are
he
you
may be
watching?
listening.
Come on, let's make it happen,
Hopefully
Scott.
Scott can tune in and be like, okay, I'll put on the budget.
What's your
All right,
favorite
then.
sport outside of baseball? I know you're a big Miami guy with the Marlins, the Panthers.
That's an easy one.
What's your
Hockey.
favorite?
Hockey's a good one, man.
Yes.
Especially the Panthers.
Don't
I'm
worry,
a
we're
big
gonna
hockey
take
fan.
that
I've
to the
actually
end.
I've kind of learned kind of the analytics behind it because I do like stats
Oh.
and stuff, and
Hmm.
it's very interesting to analyze it. Like
Mhm.
the sport's very quick. You don't have to understand it to know what's going on. And overall, it's a great spectator sport. There's a sport where fighting is allowed.
Yeah,
You'll take it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Cool. It's entertainment.
All right, let's test your FIU history for a second. Who is on your and we just said this to Rashad Bell too. So again, I'm copying a question from him. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of FIU athletes?
Like as far as athletes or just stuff?
It can be a player or a coach from any sport in FIU.
Ever.
I mean, I would say straight up the baseball team loves Kyle from soccer. Like we love that dude. He's a good dude.
All right,
he's a really good dude. And he's came and supported us too. I mean, it's hard not to say your head coach, Witten. He's got to be one.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to roll with him. And then I would say Scott, because Scott's really backed us a lot this year too. He's been kind of the heartbeat of the athletics program.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are my three. If they give me a Mount Rushmore, those are my three.
You get one more, yo. It's
One
Mount
more
Rushmore.
choice? Man, I feel like I'm going to forget somebody and then somebody's going to get mad at me for it. Let me think Mount Rushmore. Those three. And then I would say Jerome, one of our assistants. He's a good dude, man.
I love that coach.
He's the man.
This is the craziest Mount Rushmore.
Played. He's got player experiences. He's a good one, man. He makes it fun, no doubt.
Alrighty then. You mentioned hockey, and you know we're gonna copy the flow of Rashad Bell. At the end of the episode, we talked a bit about the NBA playoffs and how that's gonna end. Let's talk about this goddamn Stanley Cup because wow, this is an amazing time to be a Panthers fan. It is absolutely unreal what we've seen
for sure
from Florida. Florida was a team that no one expected to produce anything against, like the greatest hockey team ever. And
I can comfortably say I was in probably the 5% minority that said that they were going to make the playoffs. I even said it. There's no reason they're not. And when it comes down to it, like they beat Boston, which probably matched up well against Boston. We took a lot of. What we go 4 and what they win 1 game or 2? We went 4-2 against them, right?
And against who?
With Boston.
Oh, the regular season.
In the playoffs, we won what 6 games, right? Or was it 5?
No, it was 7.
We were down 3-1.
It was
Boston
7.
had a 3-1 series lead.
It was 7. But yeah, so we took Boston in 7. We're up right now on the Leafs in 3.
Get the sweep.
I think we're going to sweep them.
Yeah,
I would prefer to play. I want to play the Devils because they're small and they don't hit.
Carolina scares me.
Especially if I was out for Carolina, I wouldn't worry.
I mean, what's crazy about this season, by the way?
Carolina won today, by the way.
Yeah,
I saw that they smoked.
They're down 3-1.
But the craziest thing about the Panthers is that they're playing how everyone expected them to play last year when they won the President's Trophy and were like the hottest team ever.
Of course, man. Everybody gets the President's Trophy, doesn't win around.
I know. I mean, Boston showed us that. Who's your MVP? I think they're only 2 players.
For the Panthers?
Let's do regular season and playoffs.
Regular season MVP for Hagee. Anytime you're a 40-goal scorer, you backpack the team. Playoffs, Kachuk.
Kachuk. I agree with that, but I will give a huge shout out to Bobby, to Bobrovsky this playoff series. He
looked solid, yeah.
Officer Bobrovsky is back, guys.
Anytime you pay a guy $10 million, I hope he has these games in the playoffs. I'm kidding. But yeah, like when I look at Bobrovsky, this is the best he's been in a while. This is how he played in Columbus when they beat Lightning when they made that run. So
like I was starting to think Alex Lyon was going to be our future, and then all of a sudden Bobrovsky comes here looking 10 years younger, and wow. So let's look at the other series going on right now, and let's make some predictions. So the only game that's going on right now is Dallas versus Seattle. Dallas is ahead 1-0 for intermission of the first period. Seattle has a 2-1 series lead. Who's moving on from there?
Seattle.
The Kraken. Shout out to the Kraken. I really like. I would love to see Cats Kraken in the finals.
Their defense is just because that team's very old and very veteran driven.
Yeah,
and their defense, I think, like they have like a top 5 defense in the league, and they've played those Western Conference teams well. Like I don't see the Oilers, who's very offensive based, and the Golden Knights are also an offensive juggernaut. Like I could see them struggling against the Kraken. They remind me of like the Islanders from a while back.
Veteran driven for a team that just began.
No kidding. They picked up all the veterans nobody wanted.
Right. And we saw the same thing happen when Vegas began as a team.
Yes, I remember.
They took Marchessault and Riley Smith from us, and what happened? They won a cup.
So anyway, let's speaking of Vegas, the Knights beat the Oilers yesterday. They have a 2-1 series lead. Who's winning that?
I think the Oilers pull it off. They're too good.
You think they come back? Okay.
Any team like McDavid and Draisaitl should win on paper. Now hockey is a completely different sport where it's played on the ice. It's not like basketball where if LeBron gets you 35 a game, you win.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey is you still got to go out there and score. But I mean, hot take, I'd say Edmonton. But Vegas is up and they have the momentum. It's just a matter of does Edmonton come out to play?
Yeah,
they're still in it. Their heart's still in it.
Carolina smoked New Jersey today. They have a 3-1 series lead. Are
We're going to see Carolina. That's my prediction. We're going to see Carolina.
Panthers, Hurricanes. You going Florida all the way?
I kind of. I mean, I think you have to.
Yeah.
Of course.
With Carolina, I expect you guys to boot me immediately.
Look. Lemon City. I work for Lemon City, right? The Panthers are a big deal. I've covered my fair share of Panthers games, right? I've seen this team from the beginning, and we're gonna watch it in the end when they hoist the cup, right? Give me Panthers in 6 over Carolina. And who do you think comes out of the West?
I would say Panthers in 6, and then what'd you say earlier?
Who comes out of the Western of the West? Like who's going to the Stanley Cup?
I mean, I'm in the select few. I think it's gonna be Seattle and Florida.
That'd be
Seattle
fun.
and Florida.
Seattle's my juggernaut in the West because they
Stanley Cup finals ever, and it's going to be the least watched Stanley Cup finals ever.
It's okay.
That's fine.
We beat Bettman's Bruins, and we're about to beat Bettman's Maple Leafs. He's running out of teams to support.
Right.
So that's been good.
And again,
I do want to ask, moving away from the hockey talk, did you guys see the possible MLB expansion to Orlando?
Really?
Yeah, they what was it? The Magic GM or
The Orlando
something near $2 billion arena for a potential expansion team to Orlando. And I got to say, I don't like the call. I think 2 teams in Florida is more than enough.
But look at
right?
California.
Tampa and Orlando are right next to each other.
Look at California.
I don't know what Orlando would. I just don't know if that's a great market because you already have Tampa. So anybody that's like north of Palm Beach will usually root for like the Rays, and then anybody south is usually Marlins. So it's like you bring in Orlando. I mean, unless you bring in that team they want to bring in Vegas, because you have to have an even number of teams, right?
Yeah, it's
So if you bring in
either 30 or 32, right? And
it would be Vegas and Orlando to be 32. Yeah.
Well, no, because Oakland
is
is
a number of teams. So
you're right. You would have to make another expansion team. Yeah, you're right. The one in Salt Lake, the Utah one, the Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So
if I had to pick 2 locations for expansion teams, I would do Charlotte, North Carolina, and I would do Montreal. I'd put the Expos back there.
Oh boy,
that's a tough market, though. I mean, they did struggle with attendance. I mean, I can see it now. Like, there's probably a renewed want for baseball there. I could see it for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it could work. I would say Salt Lake City would be a cool spot, like a Charlotte. I don't know. Orlando's tough too. You got Disney. There's a lot of things to do in Orlando.
Yeah.
Right.
I
think the Orlando Magic fan base is okay, but as you said, you're competing with a city that's like what 20, 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
And they've had an existing franchise for years on years.
Too long. Yeah. They like that stadium, Tropicana Field, is very like it's just not. I mean, I'm hoping
You've been there before.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's.
How many major league ballparks have you been to?
I've been to the Marlins, the Nationals, the Rays, Tigers, the Cubs. I'm actually a big Cub fan. So Cubs and Marlins are my 2 favorite teams. I love Wrigley Field.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That place is a cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any other ballparks on your bucket list?
I always wanted to see San Francisco because I heard that's a really nice place to watch a game. Yeah. I want to see Atlanta because Atlanta's close for sure.
I heard Atlanta's very nice.
Globe Life Park I want to go check out because it's like one of the newer stadiums.
Yes.
Those are 3 for sure.
Fenway. That's
Fenway is cool. I mean, I've seen Fenway. I've never been in a game at Fenway because I've been in Boston.
Yeah, I've seen it too. Just never been there. But yeah.
That's
I will say they put renderings of what the ballpark would look like in Orlando.
I haven't seen the rendering.
It looks sick. It looks really damn
but
cool.
like,
I mean, I think that the one athletics stadium they wanted to build, I think in Vegas, it looked awesome. There's like an amusement park in the back.
It was
I'm like,
super
who's
cool,
gonna
yeah.
pay for this? Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
unless I get a big time backer to do it, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing with expansion. It's like, is there a market for it? And then on top of it, will they draw? Like, how is a local team there drawing? Because I feel like for example, like how is like Orlando FC's team? Like how are they? Like how's the soccer team drawing?
yeah.
That's going to really relate. Okay, if they draw well, how many of those soccer? There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of sports stuff.
Anything from you, Jake and Johnny, before we wrap up?
I want
Maybe
to
anything.
I want to ask you about Ryan before we go. Is I know the big focus right now is tournament, just thinking how far you go, or just winning this game, going to the tournament. I want to talk about your. You talked about summer ball. Talk a little more on that. If I know I'm doing summer ball internship. Talk about what you're doing this summer.
So I'm going back to the Valley Baseball League up in Virginia. I played with the Percival Cannons. It's a small town up in the north, like Northwest Virginia, Loudoun County. Very rich baseball history there. It's one of the oldest stadiums in the league. Last year I went, like the competition was unreal.
mm-hmm.
When I went up there, I knew it was a good league. It's MLB like affiliate league. So when I went up there, it was sick to play in that. And just it's been very cool. I get to go back there even this summer. It's gonna be fun.
What is it like
Well,
to? What is I guess how important is it to have the summer leagues for a lot of college baseball players to play 30, 40 games or around that stretch and getting more at bats under your belt?
For sure. The best. So whenever people ask about summer ball, I relate it to like it's a mini minor league experience. You travel on a bus, you play at a bunch of these small podunk towns at these stadiums in front of a bunch of fans that love baseball. Like it's all those towns in that area of Virginia, like Front Royal, Strasburg, all these towns are baseball. Like baseball is a religion there. They love the game. They support it. There's a bunch of kids. You sign autographs. Like they look up to you. But really, it's great to get your reps in, but it's cool to get back to the communities and get back to the game. And that to me is the coolest part about summer ball.
Yeah.
To get away from college. Not that it's bad, but you just need to go off and play, see some guys some guys you might have played with the year before. But it's really cool to go there and continue to grow, but grow in every part of your life. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Grow as a person, be by yourself a bit.
That minor league experience is so cool because you would think that not many people are going to go to watch those type of games, and that goes to summer ball for college.
We draw 3,000 fans a night in person.
Exactly. They show up and show out, and they love their team. I mean, I was watching the other day the Wahoos game, the AA affiliate for the Marlins. They packed the hell out of that place. It was a sold out crowd according to what they said, what I was told. So I mean, it just shows how much these small cities you wouldn't think like baseball, they love it. And as you said, it's basically a religion.
Even up north, like every game in that league will have between, at the lower end, 800 to 1,200 fans. Then our field will have between 3,000 and 4,000 a night. And the kids know you by name. They want you to sign all their programs, pictures. It's really cool. It's like a pro experience for sure. You get to swing wood bat. It's the closest thing I'd say you get to pro ball without being affiliated.
I'm gonna ask you this: what's the difference for you with the aluminum bat and the wood bat? Since you just mentioned you used it in that league,
I would say for me, the wood bat to me, I prefer to swing because just the way the bats are balanced, it's a little bit different. I like my own custom bat that I have, where it's weighted a certain way. Whereas a metal bat's a -2. Like my wood bats have like a -2.5 to a -2, so it's a lot more of a feel. And it's what you use in pro baseball. So if you have aspirations to play at that level, it's cool to see what you can do with it. And it also makes you a better hitter because there's certain hits you get with a metal bat that you'll crack with a wood bat. They force you to be on the barrel more. It's real baseball,
Yeah.
That's the key with it.
anything else from you guys?
Ryan, are you going to have a Mark Light milkshake tomorrow?
I've been always wanting to have one, but I've actually never had one. But
I think Johnny and Kevin and I can all attest they are fire. I forget the name of the one that has that's like chocolate with like little chocolate fudge chunks in. They all have funny names. I forget what that one is called.
Imagine just walking your uniform, just walking in line. You know,
Yeah, I probably couldn't do that. They'd probably tell me to get lost.
yeah.
No, but yeah, those milkshakes, they are absolutely lights out.
Lights out! Lights out!
I should have seen that coming again. God,
Yeah.
Jake,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
gonna.
man. Coach Mac.
Already then, Ryan. Something we did for Grayson that I'd like to do here as well to wrap things up is if you have a message you'd like to say to the fans, the alumni, the supporters of baseball as the regular season is wrapping up and the postseason is approaching, speak now or forever hold your thoughts.
I would say to all the FIU baseball fans and alumni, thank you for your support this year. We're looking forward to make a good run here, and we appreciate all you do for us, and we're excited for this rest of the season here coming up.
There you go.
All right, Jake, I'll let you close it out.
Alrighty then. Again, Ryan, it is absolutely unreal how little notice you got before joining our show, but still, we somehow produced 55 minutes of awesome content with you. Thank you so much for joining us, Ryan.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I speak for myself and my good friends Kevin and Johnny. By the way, we're all going to be at Mark Life Field tomorrow, so if you want to come by and say hey, we'll be there, right?
Johnny and Jake on the call at the radio.
Yep.
Yeah, FIU on Mixler as well. So to everyone who's been watching on our Twitter or Lemon City's Facebook and YouTube, we get thank you guys enough. And again, a big thanks to Ryan for hopping on episode 20.5. And until next time, we have some awesome stuff planned in the works next episode. Can't spoil anything yet, but until next time, paws up.
Paws up.